So we're now joined by David Neal. What a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. It's sort of the first day, so a little nerves, a little anxiety, but I've done this for a long time, so I've sort of owed hat. Sort
And
of owed hat.
how many CMA Fests have you done?
Over 10. I would say probably 13 or 14, maybe. Enough. I remember the first one I ever attended, sort of as a fan when I first got in the business, was the last one. It was out at the fairgrounds,
All right.
and so I'm old in that respect because I remember that. But it's something that in one way, shape, or form, I've been involved with for a long time. Yeah.
It must be nice, like at home, like circle, like coming back as a fan and then coming to perform here as well.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed so big then, but I mean, obviously, it's so much bigger and so much more involved, and sort of starts earlier. I feel like goes longer than it did back then. But yeah, I mean, it blew me away then. It still blows me away now that this many people, spend their hard-earned money and their time to come here and listen to their favorite musicians and find new people they've never heard of and fall in love with them and just I feel like a lot of careers are born during these few days.
Yeah. And talking about like favorite musicians and stuff, do you have one at this present moment in time?
Oh man, I mean, I listen to so much music that whoever sings that sunroof song, because that's the song I hear about 75 times a day in my house with my kids. I don't know who that is, but I feel like my oldest, my twins, got on it. We have an Alexa in our house, and so it's literally all I hear throughout the day is, "Hey Alexa, will you play Sunroof?" So whoever that is, it's very catchy.
And one thing we're excited for today, and like seeing you perform, but you've got a brand new song that just came out last week, "Best of Me."
Yes.
Could you tell us a tiny bit about that song, please?
Well, it's a song that I wrote about a conversation that I had with my father-in-law before he was, in fact, my father-in-law, just about wanting to marry his daughter and sort of painting the picture of which was not super rosy at that time. I mean, I was a very struggling musician, didn't really have a whole lot going on, but had met her and we sounds ridiculously cheesy to say, but we fell in love in like record time and moved in together, and so it was super important for me to not only have his blessing, but for me to feel like he approved not only of me as a person, as a man, but as us as a couple, and that he believed in our future together.
Oh, amazing. And is it true that you met in Tin Roof?
We did. We did very very late one night, and a buddy of mine who I haven't seen in many 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 years was talking about this girl. I frequented the Tin Roof enough that I pretty well knew everybody that hung out there. And so this acquaintance of mine named Derek Holly kept coming around saying there was this new girl in the bar that he had never seen before. And so when I figured out who it was and she walked past me, I decided to speak to her, and the rest is history.
Oh, amazing. So two of our like favorite songs by you is "Night on Fire," "Whatever She's Got." Like just for our personal like game, can you tell us like what them tracks are about as well, please?
Well, whatever she's got is a song that came to me when I had gone through a really difficult personal stretch, and I always tell people I would probably never recorded that song if I hadn't got to this really positive place in my life, but had gotten to a point where I just wanted to sing something fun, something light, something that wasn't a whole lot of rocket science. And my A&R guy Joe Fisher at the time sent me the song, and I joke, and my cell service was so bad it took me about an hour for the thing to download on my phone. But when I finally listened to it, it was I was surprised by how much I loved it, but I knew after the first listen that was something I wanted to record. And Nights on Fire was the same thing. It was co-written by Jonathan Singleton, who I wrote Let It Rain with, who wrote and a few other songs that were on albums, but he also wrote Red Light. And so it was on hold by several different artists who almost cut it, and thankfully we kind of stayed with it and fought for it, and I just really believed in it. I just felt like it was a hit. I actually felt like it was a bigger hit than it was, but it's loads of fun to play live, and we'll be playing it a little later today.
Oh, perfect. And some of your like older albums to the like new music that you're releasing now, has there been like a shift in the music? Do you reckon that you're making, like a massive change?
You know, I don't think so. I think that I just kind of do what I do. I don't know necessarily what that is or how to describe it. Um, I feel like that I've gotten to a point, over my career that I'm comfortable with kind of the style of music that I, you know, sort of stay in. I feel like that there's some lanes that I kind of try to stay in between, and I feel like I've had enough of a career that people sort of expect a certain style from me, and I don't always adhere to that, but I feel like I've established myself enough that if I sort of if I started dyeing my hair or grew my hair out and jumping off speakers and stuff, people would be like, "Hey, what in the hell is this guy drinking or taking?" And so, like I said, I try just to do me. I'm a very bad actor, as all my videos will attest. So I just try to stay comfortable with what I do best, and just try to make it first and foremost about the music, and hopefully that makes enough impact with somebody that they give our music a shot.
Oh, amazing. And like you've got a list of like shows coming up over the next few weeks and like months, and you're playing one on July the 4th, Independence Day at the Grand Ole Opry. How does it feel to be playing like at the Grand Ole Opry like on Independence Day?
It's always a nerve wracking nightmare. I mean, it's such an honor and it's so amazing, but as many times I've played it, and I don't know how many times I've played it, but enough that I should be a little bit more relaxed than I get. But like I said, it's always an honor. It's never taken lightly. It's probably about 15 years ago since I did my debut, or 14 years ago, because it was right before I got married. Um, so that seems crazy that I've been doing it for 14 years. Like I said, I should be used to it. But if you want to see like somebody that still gets overly worked up about a performance, come see me on that day, and especially because we're going to be traveling back from Utah, and it's going to be a hellacious travel day to get back. But if you're going to have a hellacious travel day, it better be for something that means something, and that certainly does.
Oh yeah, definitely. And obviously, like so, you've said that you've had like quite a long career there. Like, if you had to pick one thing, what's been the greatest like achievement in your career so far?
Well, I mean, I think probably getting nominated for a Grammy for a song that didn't break the top 15, which is obviously very rare. And getting to go out there and experience that whole thing. I remember being on the red carpet, and Lady Gaga, it was back when she was a little off her rocker, so to speak. She came in on a cocoon right behind me on the red carpet, and so that was kind of my first instance with like Hollywood and how crazy it can be. But I just remember it being a very emotional day. I mean, I can remember when we found out about the nomination. I rolled over. It was a late phone call, and I rolled over to my wife. And I think as somebody that's been in this business as long as I have, you always want to have respect and appreciation from your peers, and obviously it doesn't get much bigger than the Grammys. And we didn't win, but I can remember somebody coming up to me and saying, regardless of what happens the rest of your career, you'll always be referred to as Grammy nominated. And I remember thinking, wow, that's pretty damn special.
Absolutely, I don't think of anything better than that. But finally, what is the rest of 2023 got planned for David Neal?
We're going to be on the road as much as we can. I feel like we've really hit our groove as a group. Coming out of the pandemic and getting back out there, I think it took probably everybody a little ways to get their feet back up underneath them, and their voices maybe back to how they should be and how they were before. And so we've got a new song coming out in the EP, I think, in the next 4 weeks, and I'm really going to spend probably the next 3 to 4 weeks. We aren't as busy on the road, kind of stirring up creatively what's next, and then we'll spend the fall on getting whatever that is taken care of.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we'll look forward to hearing all this new music coming from you, and we'll look forward to seeing you perform today. And best
Absolutely.
of luck with the rest of the weekend, and hope you
Thank
have a fantastic weekend.
thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time.
No worries for you.